Ready. Hello and welcome to the Chef Salty Pork Podcast with your hosts Casey and Sean. We are your weekly home for culinary news, insights, tech musings, and everything in between.
Yes, you can also catch us recording and streaming on YouTube at Chef Salty Pork Podcast. Please like, comment, and subscribe to get up-to-date notifications of when we are broadcasting live.
Word. Nothing too crazy today, Sean. So we are talking. Well, before I go and blast us onto the schedule, we're talking about tattoos and stuff and why there's so many in the industry. However, Sean, let's go through the sounds. Sean, what is 99 times a billion? Okay, that was too easy. Hold on. What is 99 times 875?
Wow, you're putting me on the spot.
Just give me a random number. Doesn't have to be correct. Say like one.
One. There we go.
Okay. Wrong.
Perfect.
There you go. That's
okay. Wrong answer only.
Wrong answer, and you get a little. So that's the new one, right? And then we have another one where we're like, oh my god, that is such a great thing. No way.
Okay. I like that.
That is like the most used soundbite in YouTube world. And then Sean, if we're just thinking maybe for like 2 seconds, we'll just throw one of these up, just one of those, just some elevator.
Okay. Yeah, just for pondering. That's good pondering music.
That is it. Nothing too nothing too intently though.
Okay, hit me with that pondering again. I just want to.
Okay, all right. Let's ponder. It doesn't last long, but it ponders.
Yeah, it's enough time to get the pondering pump flowing.
Oh my good grief! So Sean, how was your week?
Our week was pretty good, man.
It's been another week, man. Isn't this crazy? Like
it's been another week. It was a birthday week for me. As much as guys get a birthday week. Yeah, so like a little birthday 48 hours. Good times, man. Good times. Nice. Yeah, man.
Are you 27 again?
That's not how it works, unfortunately. Nah, man. Hit the ripe age of 39, which just watches me ever more close to being as washed as I feel.
So you're saying 29 then, not 27,
yes,
29.
29,
oh,
yes,
okay.
29,
okay.
29.
Okay, so just making sure that we're in the same page here. Did you guys do anything? Nothing too crazy?
Yeah, so I casually mentioned to my folks, I was like, man, I really want some corned beef. So they... just really random.
Just
so like
random.
So they arranged to have some sent here to me, and then my mother-in-law. And then my mother-in-law showed up later on that night with an amazing cake and some homemade pastrami. It was really fire. So
okay. Well, you can't fault that, yo. Some good pastrami, yo.
Dude.
All day.
Dude, I thought like the corned beef was it earlier, but that pastrami had me all the way in the feels. So
was it Katz's?
No, I don't even know where she got it from. But I don't think she. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like really good delis here in Brooklyn.
That is true.
I don't think she went into the city to go get it. But dude, it was fire. It was fire, and she made some homemade sides alongside it. It was.
Oh wow.
It's a good time, man.
I put together like the screen where like everything's like organized. I felt so proud. So everything.
I appreciate all your effort, man.
But the elevator music is what takes it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. I just want to check again. Today is the 25th, right?
25th, yeah. Happy birthday, Lou.
Happy birthday. Oh, that is right. Lewis's birthday's today. You guys are back to back. I keep forgetting it's you
Yeah,
first
man.
and then Lewis second. But the only thing we're looking at is Easter. Easter in
Yeah.
2 weeks
So, do you guys have anything planned in particular for the holiday?
at the restaurant. I mean,
Yeah.
so as of current, so no,
Oh, okay.
nothing currently at the restaurant. But I'm maybe in a bit. But as of right now, as far as I know, we do not. Chef hasn't given us any kind of whatever it is that we need to formulate by then. But for now, we are just gonna go trucking along the same kind of thing altogether. But how about you guys? Are you celebrating the good old Easter with some? What are the little chicky things? I keep forgetting the name of it.
The
The
marshmallow peeps?
the peeps. Thank you. I was gonna say the peeps.
You know, I guess it's weird. Like, we haven't introduced our kid to any sort of candy at all. So, I
Oh wow!
don't think so.
At all?
But she knows about candy because of the cartoons that she watches. So every once in a
Of
while she'll
course.
like say candy and I look at her like, where did you hear that?
Where did you hear that?
Where who's introducing you to these confections?
We're not giving you candy yet. Oh
Yeah,
my
nah, man. She
goodness.
had a little piece of birthday cake yesterday and spun around like the Tasmanian devil. So, we're gonna, keep her consumption to natural sugars, and
Oh
fiber from like
wow.
fruits and whatnot.
Okay. Well, I think that's all you have to do for like a while though. Do not let her whatever you do. So the quick update for you was I got a root canal when I was 7.
Okay,
7.
7.
Do not just for the love
Well,
of
why?
God. I
Okay,
wish my mother implemented more of a like stop eating fucking candy. It'll
okay,
mess up your mouth. Because I think I've told you. I think what was it? Maybe like last year. I got it redone. The root canal. It has an expiration date. It's not necessarily like a
I thought it was a one and done thing, man.
no. It's every 20 years, my guy.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I was like a decade late, and it just happened to go. So when I was at dentist, like these have like they expire, like you have to redo it again. I was like, really, we have to re-drill into my mouth again. So it's just an FYI to everybody else. It needs to be redone every about 20-25 years.
I did
So
not know
it's
that.
yeah, don't do it, Sean. Just tell your kids, tell your wives.
My wives.
Don't,
Only
don't,
got one,
don't
man.
do. Okay, so let's talk about real quickly. So let's do some talking about tattoos, right?
Okay.
And it's been brought to my attention. I've been seeing in the TikTok world, Sean, because my boy has been on the TikTok lately. I love
Okay.
TikTok, and just I'm gonna say that out there. Quite a few of the chefs there, or I don't know. I can't tell if they actually work in the business. It looks like they work in the business. They 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 really portray themselves, or maybe just look and feel as if they're in the business. But you'll never know until you work with them, and like you're
Right.
kind of there if they have that actual pedigree. Now for just seeing somebody move through a screen and how they kind of organize, like you might have the tools and stuff, but given
Sure.
an actual kitchen, uh, different
Yes.
different beast entirely.
Completely different beast.
But some of them do have the actual chef title, and some have worked in the kitchen, and you could definitely tell. Like like it feels right. It feels like it's a part of myself onto that other side of the screen. So they are. But quite a few actually during last week and this week, I saw quite a few comments on their end, people that are more popular than myself. They were like, "Oh, don't
More
serve food
popular
with
than
your."
you?
Well, because apparently they're whatever. There's like a lot of their comments were saying, I wish you didn't have tattoos on your hands. Like, don't touch the food with your hands. It's dirty. And I'm just like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah,
Excuse me, what?
should be
That's
two separate thoughts.
okay. That's a whole thing entirely. And then it clicked in my
Yeah,
brain. I was like, in our industry, literally almost everybody has tattoos. Like
yeah,
to,
yeah,
to a to a
yeah. For the
normalcy now.
most,
Besides,
yeah,
yeah. Besides, I mean, I know you don't, but
yeah.
I
I
know
don't.
of.
No, no, no. I still don't have any. I still don't have any.
I
Yeah, I mean, man, you're tatted up, man. Like I said, like look,
just the one
oh,
side. I'm not trying to flex or anything, but it's yeah. I do have a tattoo, but it doesn't say that, or rather, does having a tattoo limit your culinary like endeavors? That's what I kind of wanted to get in today, and
I
the
don't.
kind of like why it boomed in our kind of society. So some kind of backgrounds and why. If you can remember, Sean, about I want to say like 2007. So almost about a decade ish, a little longer
Yeah,
than that. Or maybe
yeah,
even earlier,
yeah.
almost
Almost.
like
Yeah.
could be, a decade and a half now. If you can remember the younger chefs or maybe our generation just or actually maybe in your generation more so. I'm not saying you're old, but I'm just saying
It's
you're
all
a little
right,
older
man.
than
Look,
that.
look.
But
The odometer rolled over one time. I know what you're saying. It's fine. It's fine. I deal with it. I deal with it.
okay, I'm just saying more predominantly, and actually I looked at some statistics. It is so common for 40-year-olds and lower that have tattoos in the culinary industry, and more specifically, during that time, late '90s, and specifically in like the '06, '07 era, all the chefs had, the utensils here became a
Sure.
fad. And the most common meme at the time was, it used to be actually, I have it, we'll go through it in a little bit at the meme review, but it used to be, the bikers would be like, full sleeve used to mean that you can kill somebody, or you've killed somebody. Now it just means the chef that will serve you braised belly slab on, and it'll cost you like $40 or something like that. Why do you think that is, Sean?
Why
Like
do I think
why
that?
is there such a why
Why
is
is
it
it a
why do you
draw from
think
the
there's a
culture?
yeah,
Well,
and such a
I
stigma
think.
having
Well, at that point in time, I mean, you have things like the boom of the Food Network, and that draws all sorts of
that is
different
true.
people to the industry, and also makes it possible for people to kind of sell themselves in ways greater than just the food that they produce and provide. I think honestly, like the fascination with tattoos and chefs or people in the culinary industry is just that these people are inherently artistic, and they want to be able to express themselves in every way possible in their work environment. But unfortunately, because of the environment, I mean, there is a uniform, right? Like, it only provides limited opportunities for self expression, right? You're gonna have your chef coat, maybe you have your stripes or your accomplishments on your jacket. You've got your head coverings and the like, but
Correct.
the opportunities for expression are going to come in maybe how you do your hair or you color your hair. You can't, you shouldn't be wearing jewelry, right? So,
Correct.
like, you can't really express yourself that way. So, the only logical place for people to go is
It's through our
through,
skin.
right, like body mods and tattoos. So, you got. It's like a lot of different things happened at that time too, man. I mean,
No, quite a few. Yeah.
the stigma of having tattoos is completely different than like if one were to have a tattoo 20 years prior to that, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's funny that you mention it because obviously I don't have any tattoos, and I almost felt not out of place, but as like almost like an outlier, you know,
Got it.
because
But did you feel like?
just
But did you feel like you needed it?
no. I mean,
Maybe is that
I
the
mean,
question?
personally, I mean, I don't feel like I need it now. I mean, it's something that I've
Oh, of
thought
course.
about
Yeah.
getting, but never really settled in on like what if I were to do that, what I would want to, kind of, represent for the rest of my life, with.
Got
And
it.
I think
And I
it's
was,
really, yeah, I think it's really interesting what, individuals choose to do, with their particular tattoos. I mean, my wife has two, and they definitely mean something to her, as I would imagine, like, most people that get tattoos do. I mean, the craziest thing
yeah.
to me, honestly, is like, and maybe I'm gonna offend someone out there, is like if you go to like a parlor and just pick something out of a book, because
I
I just
got you.
think
Maybe
like
like
with the yeah.
just like for random sakes or just to be
Right. You're
spontaneous.
just like, yeah, just
Yeah,
being
yeah, yeah.
spontaneous and like, yo, just give me number three. Like, to me, it's your body's your canvas. Like, you only got so much
Got it.
real estate to play with. So if you're gonna do it and be committed to it, you should probably make sure that it's something that you want to commit to.
But
But
wouldn't that be like a fun kind of thing in your earlier days?
I mean,
Because
sure.
it was such a fad, right? You'd be like, oh, yo, let's go get some tattoos. Maybe like I don't know, like a number two or something for some stupid reason on your
I
finger
mean,
for some
if
shit, or
yeah,
I don't know.
again, like I said, I don't want to besmirch anyone who's certainly made that decision for themselves. But I don't know. For me, I would just want to be like, all right, like I'm doing this thing. I wanted to represent this time or this feeling or whatever have you, and I want to be able to always look at it and be reminded of whatever it's supposed to represent. You know.
Got it.
But
Now
yeah,
I got some facts for you here, Sean. Here's
sure.
some a
What's
little
up?
bit of so I was reading some articles and some I kind of paraphrased and quoted most of them, but the most specific one was I mentioned to you 40 and younger are the people that mostly have this,
Yeah,
right? And then I'll get to the other criteria for the
that
time.
makes sense.
But according to a study from several, literally articles upon articles, almost 4 out of 10 people between the ages of 18 and 40 probably sport one or more tats.
Right.
A typical 400% increase from prior generations, and 1 in 20 people have multiple body piercings. We're not just talking about tattoos. Now it's a body modification, right?
Yeah.
You're literally modding your body to reflect some kind of art. And then the most specific one that I wanted to look for, and they kind of touch upon it, is the question: can we hire these people? So I just wanted to kind of touch upon that a little bit. Most specifically, especially in our line of work, most of everyone that we work with are what we call delinquents, kind of, right? That was like the most common place for people to find kind of employment afterwards. How does this thing kind of mimic, or did that give like oh, look at my tattoos, I'm working in a restaurant, I think you should get tattoos also, to give like sign of like a camaraderie kind of thing? Do you think that gave a little bit of like a nudge
Yeah, I
to
mean,
make that boom even more?
I don't see how it couldn't, right? Like, people are gonna model what they believe are successful behaviors, right? So if you're in a space and people adorn themselves in a particular way, you're gonna at least consider it. And again, I think
That's
that
true.
industry in particular, draws people who are, I think, beyond people that just want like a job. Like, if you want to make a career of it, you want to be able to express yourself through your craft. And I think those individuals are always going to try to find different ways to do that. So I don't know, getting a tattoo, or tattoos that represent the life and the work, it makes sense that they would go hand in hand.
No, I really do. I have another article here, Sean, from the late great Anthony Bourdain, if you can remember,
Hey.
and I think several of his episodes, specifically in his Kitchen Confidential series. I forget what network it was. I think it might have been like, was it the oh my god, I haven't watched TV in so long, my guy. Was it Discovery Channel? So
It was
Discovery
Discovery, and then like toward
for
the
like
end,
a
he was
whole
on
while.
like he had a show on CNN.
This is a quote from one of his shows. He says, tattoos were looked upon by society in general as a behavior of people who were edgy, troubled, and untrusting. Those who had
Right.
tattoos were commonly instructed to keep them hidden on their clothing, and anything above the collar was definitely a no-no if you wanted to be taken seriously at a real job. And this was his most famous kind of like hearsay, because if you've seen the guy, he's lined up
Yeah,
like everywhere.
sure.
And he actually has the utensils also, which became such a I want to say, I don't want to say trend, but before that word became that word in this scenario now, let's roll it back almost 2 decades ago. I want to say camaraderie, because whenever we're in the kitchen and we're cooking and you're getting that kind of stress thrown upon you, it's almost like the military. It literally is. There's hierarchies, there's grunt work, and when you finally do achieve on finishing that service with that kind of like, I want to say handicap, but pushing through the tickets, making sure the meals are prepped correctly, everything is in sequence when we're plating, and the customers are getting it. That is a form of just bonding on everybody else, no matter what kind of environment you're in, and it's a stressed environment. And I think just having some kind of show tattoos, be like, yo, nice tattoo, man. Yeah, we're
Right.
in the same space. We work like 14, 15 hours every day, pretty much. It gives you like a sense of belonging. I just kind of want to say
Sure.
that's what I'm trying to.
Yeah. I mean, in the NBA, they call it like the Iverson effect.
Yeah,
'Cause,
the Iverson effect.
yeah, because
Yeah, I
Allen Iverson
remember.
was
Yeah,
one of the first few players that really embraced having multiple tattoos. Especially in a time where, for the same, unfortunately for the same reasons, where like respectability politics kind of play, where you know the NBA as a product to be sold and marketed in a lot of different spaces. They definitely were not trying to promote the players that were adorned that way. But Iverson, being one of the best players of his generation and an icon on and off the field, people are going to be drawn to that visage. And ever since then, it would be hard. I can't think of any players in general that don't have tattoos, and definitely
correct. Yeah.
not some of the top players in the league. Generally they're gonna have multiple tattoos on their arms, on their legs, across their chest.
Yeah.
All telling all sorts of stories about where they're from. What's important to them. What they're looking to achieve. And yeah, man, it's a very interesting thing, and I think it also plays into just the creative and improvisational nature that is a top tier basketball player and athlete. So
Well,
yeah,
we're all
man,
creatives,
yeah,
right?
again, and I think I
Specifically,
think that's just what it is, right? Like people are good, they're
it
gonna be
really is.
creative, and also right, they're gonna model patterns of success. They're gonna do it.
It's true. A couple more articles here for you, Sean. So when I was looking at tattoos, I kind of wanted to see where it was birthed, specifically here in the U.S. Like, how did
Okay.
it come upon here? Now we can retract it back a couple of centuries, if we wanted to, and there's findings on it. Literally, if you just Wikipedia it, bruh, it's like boom, boom, boom. However, if we take it by continent, it differs on the kind of meaning they are, right? For Polynesian islands, like Pacific Islanders, myself included, where the country I'm in, this is more of a ritual kind of thing.
Okay.
Samoans will have, you specifically, like, you'll see like the Rock with the one-sided. That's like a tribal kind of thing.
Okay.
Likewise, in the Philippines, it's kind of a same manner, where not specifically by tribe. It's more like it's straight up like a ritual, like you're being renewed again. Don't quote me on this, but like specifically for Polynesian islands, like that's like more of a spiritual kind of thing going on. But then we go a little bit more north in Asian countries, like specifically like China and Japan specifically. Back then, they would tattoo prisoners. It was for identifying somebody. So it's kind of intense, like just looking at what was the purpose of it and their kind of location specifically, what it meant to them, etc. But here in the United States, however, New York City is considered the birthplace of modern tattoos because we're the first professional tattoo artist, and I'm quoting here. His name is Martin Hildenbrandt.
Okay.
Set up shop in the mid 19th century during the Civil War, and he would tattoo Civil War soldiers for identification purposes. So almost kind of like the same thing, right? And it's also where the first electric rotary tattoo machine was invented in 1891, inspired by Thomas Edison's electric pen. So it's kind of like, oh man, that's really interesting how they kind of just kind of a full circle. So if we're just talking here in the States, they did it for the war purposes to identify somebody. Now I'm assuming maybe the dog tags weren't enough because usually, like I've heard plenty of stories where, if you die, obviously you would take it with you, but they would put it in between your teeth and punch you in. That way it's on your body. They would know who you are. But I'm assuming I didn't read enough rather, but they would actually tattoo you for identification purposes. That's like, I was like, what? Can you just imagine? That's it's crazy. I mean, different purposes, different places, different times. But yeah, so we want to talk specifically for kitchen though. Sean, do you remember in our handbook what our policies say for tattoos or for any kind of modifications towards our bodies? Can you remember? It was like two paragraphs.
They couldn't be visible.
Yeah.
I
think it was from here down.
Yeah.
They weren't able to. From here up, it's fine.
They weren't supposed to be anything that was like specifically offensive as well.
And we didn't allow neck tattoos.
At your location.
Specifically. Oh,
hey, man. Look,
Heard. Hey,
you know what?
Listen,
I think,
I get it.
Look, see,
I get it.
For all the different reasons that people have tattoos in different communities, I think, you could potentially be excluding certain people, who
That's true.
Produce because of
tattoos.
Because of tattoos.
Now, we did have one employee. You didn't meet him, but we did have one guy in my restaurant. He had a side tat, and I was like, I don't care. And just you know how to cook. I don't give a crap. If they give you trap, when I'm saying if they the front of house be like, what is this? I'm like, really? This guy's great. You're gonna make him go because of that. So I really fought hard for him.
Sure.
But
and I think
said,
over time, obviously in workplaces, those rules will be changed and amended because,
I think
like
it
you
should.
said already, if 40% of people, between 18 and 40 have tattoos, I mean, you're already excluding so many individuals. It just seems pretty detrimental.
I think we just have to wait for the old people to die. That's what.
Or maybe we
write the policies.
We just get the old people tattoos.
That's what it is. It's like, yo, your skin is about to go anyway.
It's like, hey,
get something cool.
Show up for your COVID vaccination, and
and get a tat. That's
instead of getting like a sticker, just get a little tat to say, I vaxxed.
Now, I would understand where people would be like, well, that's discrimination. It is if it happens and you're already employed in the workplace. Does that make sense? So there's not really a fine line to it. So if you sign the papers and the policy states specifically, no visible tattoos here, whatever, no, etc. And then you, as a person that have a tattoo, you cover up and it's fine, everything. And you perchance just decided mid-shift, screw this, I'm going to show my tat. They could, the manager could be like, hey, like, look, we have a rule, we have a policy here. You cannot have anything shown, just button up or whatever on their arm or something, whatever. That's not technically discrimination because you signed a paper for it. And that's how companies will save their skin kind of towards that. This is after hire. Pre-hire, you can't be just like, oh no, you're discriminating against me. That's not how it works. You're not hired as of yet, so you can't give that same kind of, like, you're not gonna hire me because of my tattoos. Like, no, we can definitely hire you. We're letting you know this company that you're working for, none, whatever the policy is, none visible from your wrist down or whatever, none on your neck, none on your face, etc. But then the fine line, if you keep reading, Sean, the fine line is if it's for religious purposes, and then it's like pages, and I'm like, I don't I don't want to sift through this, but it's quite a lot. I urge everybody to kind of do your due diligence and read up on it, specifically if you have a lot of tattoos, and if you're gonna work. Not that it's gonna omit you or anything, but just know companies are still old school. It's not gonna change. I don't think in this lifetime. Maybe another. I want to say like another 40 years, maybe we'll see. Maybe another century. I don't know. How do you feel about this, Sean?
I feel like companies will need to be progressive to
They
have
really do, man. Like,
a workplace to or a
it's just a
workforce
tattoo.
to choose from. And again, over time, as more people have them, they become less stigmatized. And now you're screening for other criteria, as it should probably be anyway.
Now, obviously, nothing offensive, right?
Right.
On your
Yes.
tattoo, like
Look, I think
you don't
again,
want that.
sure, like you don't want that. But I think otherwise, if it's innocuous, then why not? Like, why not? Why not?
No, definitely, why not? Now, just some backstory. I do want to also address, why, because you would ask, why I have this tattoo. I've been wanting to get this since I was 14, Sean. So for my boss specifically, my first employer. At one point, I mentioned to him, this is when I was a contractor still, and I was doing weekend gigs at restaurants, just whatever,
Okay.
dishwasher or whatever. I was like, hey, nothing for nothing. I eventually would like to get a whole sleeve. At one point, I wanted a whole sleeve, Sean. And he goes, why? I was like, I don't know. I'm part Japanese. I think it's cool. He's like, I think you should have a really good reason why you should want one. I was like, you know what? You're right. And I put it off for such a long time until, he eventually passed away. And I fully committed into the kitchen. And I was like, you know what? I think I found my reason. In lieu of him, and to honor his memory in my brain, this is my boss right here. So for the first guy that gave me a job here, and I've been with him for literally almost 10 years, Sean. Just he almost became like a father figure to me. This is a reminder of me, of him, on my body specifically, and that's it. Nothing crazy. You're not gonna see any utensils here, or none of that
Hey, man.
crap. It's just all kind of burns.
If you're committed to that, man, you gotta do this man a justice. Say his name, man. Put some respect.
His
on
name
his
is That's true. His name is Pete Rieger. So
All right, Pete.
God rest his soul.
Yep. Rest in peace.
We always call him boss.
Okay.
Don't call him Pete.
Okay. And then
boss.
my question for you is, obviously this is really important to you. How did you go about finding the artist to get it done?
So I went around. So if you can remember, here in our town, actually, it's quite famous because they're in a show, or specifically, I think 3 of their contestants are in that Ink show. I forget what the name is. Oh, it's on TV. It's quite popular. It's not whatever tattoo show on TV is. I think Ink Master. If you can remember, it's quite popular, right? 3 of their former contestants work right here at Starlight Tattoo.
Okay.
Here in Jersey. And it's literally right there, right at the entrance of the mall. So I didn't go there though. I just wanted to inquire. I was like, hey, who do you have that does traditional Japanese, which is this is? And at the time, they didn't have the person there. They were out filming the show. I was like, okay, do you know anybody else? Can you refer me to somebody? They referred me to somebody down in actually my old town in North Arlington, New Jersey. So that's how I found the guy We got to talking. I was like, hey, I kind of want this. I showed him a picture. He drew me a SketchUp, and then we just went from there. And it's super pricey. Needless to say, it's a lot of skin, my guy. Like it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine, obviously you probably want to pay more than pay less when it comes to getting a tattoo done.
Yeah, but like, but when you say, I don't know. So it this is 2 grand. Does that warrant that amount, Sean? Do you think? And
Look,
there's
if
no
okay,
there's no colors
I
yet.
say,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, okay, so perfect because obviously you've gone through the process. So, like, was that 2 G's just for that, and then you need to pay for the rest, or like, I mean,
I got you.
I
So it
imagine.
was, I think the total, it was 15 and change, I believe.
Okay,
And then you include the tips. So this is twice. I went there twice, 4 hours on my chest and 4 hours on my arm, pretty much. Right. And then I was still supposed to come back for the filling of it, like the shading, not the filling, but the shading of it. And I just wanted it black and gray. Those are what I wanted, just
okay,
for the. I didn't want colors because I think it would just. I don't know. I still think colors don't look good on skin. In my opinion, I prefer if it's just black and gray, nice and shaded. It will do well over time, whatever. But I ran out of money. We just got promoted. We just got promoted to kitchen managers. If you can
okay,
remember.
yeah,
Yeah. And at that time, if you can remember, Sean, we were only making. I mean, I was only making like
yeah,
13.50, so I ain't gonna lie. That was back then. That was back then. Not anymore. Kitchen managers now are
right,
like
right, yeah,
like
yeah.
way the heck up.
Doing, by the time we're leaving, we're doing all right. But yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
is true.
up front, that's again an unfortunate part of the industry as well, man.
Another
The ramp,
topic for another day, though,
the
man.
ramp is steep.
The ramp is steep,
The
yo. It
ramp
was
is
like
steep. If
it was like, are you serious? Like
you're
some of the
you're
like
you're
our
gonna
head cooks were
grind.
making more than we were. Like it was
Yeah,
insane.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Tenure and responsibility. Sometimes those things don't specifically line up, but yeah, that is a talk for another time.
Yo, that's another talk for a different day. So we'll definitely get into that. But that is so to answer somebody to inquire why do chefs have the utensil tattoos. I think it's in my if I were answering it, it's camaraderie. It's a symbol of what we accomplished for all the long hours that we've put in, all the all the time spent in the same building. That's my answer. Why we have those things. And it doesn't even matter what it is. It can be a name or whatever location, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. But that is, at least for me, that is my answer. How about you, Sean? I know you don't have tattoos. You eventually
Yeah,
will. I hope
yeah.
you do.
I have an idea of what I would like to do in some time,
What up,
but
John?
I think what draws people to tattoos is to express themselves. And like you were saying before, when you are committing to working in, that environment, there's something about blessing your skin with the representation of like,
Blessing your skin.
yeah, yeah, of the shared, I don't want to say trauma, but the shared
Trauma.
experience that
Shared
like everyone is
trauma.
going to. Yeah, I mean,
No,
again,
it is
like I
trauma. That
said,
is true. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. That's
it's
true.
hot, it's sticky, it's wet, it's damp, it's loud, it's hard. Your feet hurt, but you're doing this with other people that like get it. Like
Correct.
they get it. Hopefully, you're doing it alongside people who get it, and there is nothing like the release, after a long day's work, that you look across the line, up and down, and like, yo, we made it. We made it
It's true.
through, and we're gonna
Exactly.
do it again. And I think for all the time, and effort that people commit to that, they probably are gonna want to represent themselves, as someone who walks in that life, especially outside of those spaces, so people can see, right? Like, yo, when I got, these utensils here, it's gonna start that conversation.
Yep.
Oh man, is that a whisk?
Like, what did you wear?
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro, it is a whisk. Yes. That chef knife. Yeah, it is. And let me tell you about it. Like,
what kind of obscure material or item in the restaurant you think would be the next thing that should be tattooed on somebody?
Oh, I got the perfect one.
The restaurant specific.
The grill brick. What up, John Michael?
Just a box. Yo, what's up, John Michael?
Yes,
just a box.
Because look, like, it doesn't. If you don't know, you don't know. But if you know,
that's
you know.
True.
Right?
Hey, you know what? Yeah, I was gonna say the big spatula, the flipper,
the big spatula. Okay, but yeah, if you just got like a solid dense brick on your arm, it's gonna be a conversation starter.
It's like, what is that? Is that a bean? Well, not really a bean. Like, is that just a square? What is that? Yeah,
it's a telling like monolith, that definitely represents being in those spaces. So yeah, I think that should be it.
Okay, well that's a well answer right there. Sean, let's move on to some meme reviews. And here's what I mean, Sean. This is that. It wasn't specifically this. I couldn't remember exactly what it was, but this is the meme. Tattoo sleeves used to mean you were a biker and you would kill someone. Now it means you're a chef who makes a lovely pork belly.
You know what?
With a balsamic drizzle.
That is 100% true. And what's funny is, like, if you took off that like biker vest on that guy and put a chef coat on him, you can definitely see him like drizzling, some balsamic glaze.
Yeah, he would actually. Yeah.
Hey, that dude looks like he looks like Food Network star in the making.
You know what? It is extremely marketable. How's that? How you like that word? Right? Yeah. Like the bad guy, the bad boy of the group, right?
Looks like Captain America.
He looks like Chris Evans. Yeah. I can see it. But there's no utensils on his arms, though, Sean. Yeah. Not that I can see. But anyway.
No. Yeah.
Let's move on.
There's a lot going on.
Sean, this is a clear visual representation of how I feel in that restaurant. Mm-hmm. Back of the house, front of the house. I know. Well, yeah, Wednesday Addams on the left. And I forget who the other. She has a name. I forget. It's been so long since I saw the movie. But usually the back of house people are. Was that word I'm trying to look at? Not stern, but like more hard. Is that a thing? Is that what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I mean, there is definitely a steely resolve and a stoicism
I like that better.
Like being in those spaces. It's not to say that you're not going to have fun, but yeah.
I mean, we have fun when we go home after shift,
right?
That's why we look like this. But front of house, though, we won't talk about front of house. Couple more, Sean. When one of your cooks asks off New Year's Eve,
what about when your chef leaves on New Year's Day?
I was just gonna say, okay, without having to bash the guy. Right?
I love him. But that's one of my favorite stories. Yo,
we all love him.
Shout out to the big homie Aaron again for giving me the opportunity to work alongside Casey. Like, I'll forever love you for that. I will forever love you for that. And again, like the realest of the real talk, like, I can honestly say, like, getting that transfer from Rhode Island back to the Jersey, New York area, like there's a lot of things that don't happen in my personal life because of that, right? Like, I probably don't get married to my wife. I definitely don't have my daughter, and we're not doing this show if not for that. So shout out to the big homie Aaron.
Shout out to Aaron.
Thank you. Much love, hugs and kisses. But New Year's Day, dog.
That's all we're gonna say, homie. Okay, so to put it into tight bubble, I was off that day. Okay. I don't remember if you were working. Were you working that day?
I wasn't working that day. I
Okay,
happened
so
to
we
be off
were
because
both off.
I worked the day before. I worked New Year's.
Correct.
I worked New Year's
Yeah, yeah.
Eve,
No,
and
no,
then
we all worked. We literally all worked except for that one day. So the I don't want to say the story, but the whole thing transpired was Sean and I were off. I had three doubles. I think we've had the same schedule.
yeah, we were busting it out, man.
Yeah, yeah, we were busting it out, and then we were off specifically just for that one day. We worked all the holidays, but we were off that one day. And then I get a phone call from our general manager. He goes, "Hey, hey, is there any way you can come in today?" And I'm like, "Yo, homie, I'm spent. This is like 12 noon, Sean. I'm like, I'm spent. I'm not in Jersey. I'm in the city." Now, granted, I lied, obviously, because I want to come in.
You're across the street.
I'm across the street. I was like, yo, I'm
You'll
not.
probably
I'm
see
not
the
here.
restaurant from your bedroom. It's
I
like
could. It's like I kidding. He goes, so chef just quit. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, there's the keys are in the office and the card, like our swipe. He's like, it would help us out. I'm like, bro, you're asking the wrong time. I'm not in Jersey. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And our general manager was really pushy at that time. I was like, yo, listen, it's y'all gonna have to do it at one point. And then this is the time where we also had Rachel on the line still. We were
yeah,
training her.
yeah. She was like an intern or something like that.
Yeah,
Like
she was an intern at one
just
point.
happened to be home from school, like on break from
Oh my
school.
goodness. Yo,
Yeah, that was
memories. So
memories,
anyway,
man.
that's what happened. So for everybody, kind of in know, that's what happened in our restaurant. But anyway,
Shout out to
that's
getting thrown into the fire, man. You know
that
what?
was a long
Like
time ago. Let's just say that. Huh?
a long time ago, and honestly, I think it's opportunities like that where like you get the opportunity to kind of prove yourself. Shout out to Rachel. I know she's still doing big things in the business, and stepping up in those moments is what prepares you for the ridiculous randomness that is the restaurant industry.
For everybody
Shout out.
else in the know, New Year's Day, New Year's Eve is quite not necessarily busy, but it's important for the restaurant because we do our final numbers that day. So New Year's Eve into New Year's Day, we're doing numbers to make sure all the
Yeah, you're balancing your
invoices, whatever our
right.
P&L, everything lines up literally on that day. And the chef decided to. Like, but anyway, let's get into a couple more here. Sean gets moved from prep to fry line. Tells everyone he's a chef.
This is the truth, man. Look,
This is hilarious. This
man.
made me laugh so much because it's the face of exhibit. First of all, that's hilarious. Second of all, I mean, okay, I'm not trying to toot my horn, but if you get to the fry line, look, can we just have an honest conversation, Sean? A really good fry cook is hard to come by. Like a
Oh, for sure,
really like
for
a
sure,
really
and it's funny, right? Like even in like outside of the restaurant industry, like when people think of just like the typical fast food worker, and people don't like respect the skill that comes to being able just to do that task well. Like if you don't know what you're doing, if you just walked in and got on a fry line, you would collapse and sink the
yo
rest
you
of the
would
restaurant.
because
Like
you are appetizers pretty much, right?
right,
And you have to have such a really good
innate sense of timing.
sense, yeah, of timing because it needs to be your dishes will come up in minutes where everybody else will take maybe 7, 10, maybe
Right,
12 minutes at
right,
the most. You want the plate to hit literally at the same time, like
right,
just to barely just sit there and yours is coming up like really right on that time. That's a really hard
right.
skill to nail.
Sure, and
So
especially
a
if
really
you
good
don't
fry
have
cook, oh.
the your restaurant isn't equipped like the technical infrastructure to kind of time those things out. So again, like imagine we'll for this example use a seafood restaurant, and someone at at their dinner table decides to order a lobster, and someone else at that same table decides to order some fried shrimp, right? The lobster is going to take, like Casey said, somewhere between 11 and 12 minutes to cook. The fried shrimp is going to take 2 minutes to cook.
Yeah.
If you do them at the same time, someone's going to have a hot lobster and someone's going to have very lukewarm to cold shrimp. Nobody wins, right? If you need, so managing those timings requires, again, some innate temporal skills from the cook or the chef on hand to kind of manage the flow. So, and although, like you said before, like that station is going to get a lot of appetizers as well. So, like, you want to be able to have someone who is skilled and clean and, you know, on that line.
Clean.
Because again, on that station in particular, like, you're going to be dealing with a lot of, like, breadcrumbs and liquids,
flour everywhere,
oil
everywhere,
like oil everywhere,
sauces everywhere.
Sure. Ugh. And also, hopefully you're in a restaurant where they're really prioritizing like cross contamination and allergies and stuff. So when you're taking all those little desperate elements, like, it might seem like it is a simple job, right? And if you really broke it down, yeah, sure, it is, right? But to be good at that station requires some, skills that a lot of people just don't have. And it can be, and it's not that you can't get them, but for some individuals, like, it takes time to grasp them.
Oh, it definitely is. It's it's hard to come by. So if you have a really good fry cook, like if they put it into their resume, fry cook, bruh, I'm already 3/4 of the way of hiring you, because it's such a crazy good skill to have. Because if you can time that to the T, it doesn't matter what station I put you in. Right. I can teach you how to cook that fine. But it's the timing in your brain to make sure everybody is doing their thing and everything at the same time. Oh my good grief! I would pay you extra. Like I would take an extra, some of my pay to give it to you just because you're that good. So yeah, shout out to all the fry cooks. Much love to fry cooks, to the fry preps. Lots of, oh my goodness, those again, you cut your teeth home, nice.
Or listening to this on their phone or in their car. What's better than crispy warm fries? Like nothing, right?
Correct.
Like nothing's better than that. And it's like, it seems like a side to you, but if it's wrong, then it's gonna set the rest of your meal off. So
on fries,
shout out to the fry cook for holding it down.
Yeah. All right, couple more, Sean. We're going into the Monshushu news now. However, so here's what I meant, Sean. Peeps and Pepsi team up for a limited batch of marshmallow soda. Can we just? Is it because of the Rona? Like what is going on?
I don't know. I feel like this must be like the auto industry where like Ford is like got a lifelong partnership with like Firestone. They're just like, we'll make the cars, you sell us the tires, and we'll be in business together forever. But Peeps and Pepsi, I don't know, dog.
But it's marshmallow flavored soda though. Have you ever had marshmallow flavored soda? So
no.
more like a cream soda. So I'm assuming that's the type of maybe consistency and texture, right?
You turned me all around. If this thing has the finish of a cream soda, I could be with it. That's
what I'm saying. Like that's the only thing that I can think of to have the same kind of texture and viscosity as if it were.
No.
Obviously nothing like a marshmallow.
No.
Like a marshmallow. I'm just saying, like,
goodness.
If I were to make this, I think I would make it the same as a cream soda. That way it has like a little fizz head, kind of,
like some foam,
where you can have like the marshmallow fizz. So I don't know how this would happen, but it would.
Oh my god! Okay. You got me, man. I was just imagining like this marshmallow soda to be thick like chicken gravy. Just
Oh yeah, no, not that. Not that's a little. It's a little too
oh
much,
boy,
Sean.
oh
Have you
boy.
eaten today? Do you need a Snickers? Is that where we? Is that where we're
Nah,
going
man.
right now?
I'm still coasting on corned beef and pastrami, man.
This is corned beef. Okay, last one.
Okay.
This is pretty cool. So Krispy Kreme
Hey.
is giving away free donuts to anyone who got a vaccine. Yo, shout out to Krispy Kreme for doing this. And I wanted to look it up. Here in Jersey, specifically where I'm at, there's only two locations. There's one a little more south, and there's like another one south of that. When I say south, it's central. It's central Jersey, Sean. It's not even like 30 minutes away from here. And I call that south. So
Right.
I mean they call it pork roll down there, Sean. Not Taylor ham. They call it pork roll. So I don't know what to tell you. Okay. But if you got the vaccine and there's a Krispy Kreme near you, all you need is the little card that tells you got vaccinated, and they will give you a free donut. That is the most awesome thing. And I would like to have it. I would like to have a free donut. Because I haven't had a donut since like 3 years ago. But shout out to Krispy Kreme for doing that. I do want to. I think. Yeah. More than. Yeah. As long as you have the card, you're fine. I just want to make sure I have the article right here in front of my face. To correct it and all that. But nothing too crazy though. And everything else that we're gonna be talking about. But if you see a chef that has, or any cooks, not just a chef, I don't want to just say specifically chef, any cooks that have tattoos, we're just people. There's just, decoration in our bodies that look cool, that reminds us of where we cooked or where we've been. And that's all it is. Don't think that it's dirty or anything. It doesn't contaminate your food. It doesn't leak out of our hands to the dish that we're serving it to you. But yeah, that's pretty much why I wanted to discuss the whole tattoo thing. But what is that word I'm trying to say? There was a specific word to those chefs, like to that type of person back. I did not do my due diligence and do that research on. But I don't want to say hipster chef, but more like where the skinny jeans became like a fad thing. Like it's kind of like the same thing where all the chefs had the tattoos on their arms with like whisks and stuff. That's how I kind of remember it.
These things just come in and out of vogue, man. I mean, definitely in the early aughts, it was not uncommon to see, lower back tattoos, right? They just
The tramp stamps.
Hey, man, I wasn't trying to go there, but as they're otherwise known.
That's what we called it in the 90s, didn't we?
Yeah. But even then, right? Like, the quote unquote trans stamp, represented, a free spirited lady. And now that free spirited lady is your mama. Times change, man. It's just how society is dynamic and culture just moves forward. So
do you think
you're not gonna be out here slandering your mom.
Do you think the parents of the kids' parents, or the kids would ask their parents, like, "Ma, what is that? What is that?" Do you think they would say it's a tramp stamp? Would people even know it?
They were like, it's a souvenir from a 311 tour I went on.
311, sir?
They were just handing them out in the parking lot.
Oh my good grief! All right, nothing too much. Sean, as we close though, some final thoughts, if you don't mind.
Yeah, man. So like I mentioned before, this week was a birthday week, and
Your
whenever
boy
it's a
is
birthday
29.
week, plus 10. whenever whenever your birthday rolls around, hopefully you're in a good place to reflect on all the things you've done and look forward to the things you'd like to do. So if ever now's the time to get on your grind. So happy birthday to me, and happy belated birthday to everyone else who had a birthday earlier this year.
There you go.
This is the time, man. Like I said, we all been through it over the last year. Let's get out there. Let's be safe, and let's do some big things.
If you guys want to, you can tweet Sean and just tell happy 29th birthday. And then Sean will be like, "Oh, thank you so much. It's my 29th birthday today." Yeah. Then we'll get into his head. I won't play he's 29 today.
You know what? Black don't crack, but I don't know if I can reach that far back.
That is true. Nah, I don't think we do. Like black and yellow do not crack, man. Like I'm gonna have flawless skin till I'm like 70, pretty much. Like that's a guarantee.
Just gotta drink your water, and your marshmallow peeps soda.
The cream soda.
Yeah, man. Your cells won't be able to break down. They'll be clogged with
the little peeps.
The yellow marshmallow peeps.
All right, ladies and gents. Nothing too much. Mm-hmm. You can check out all our stuff on the interwebs, but more specifically on YouTube at Chef Salty Pork. And Sean, you want to tell them our email and stuff?
Sure, yeah. I mean, this podcast, again, can be found on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. You can find video of these episodes streaming and archived on YouTube at Chef Salty Pork. Reach us by email at AskChefSalty@gmail.com. And hey, you can reach out to me on Twitter at MetroCardX.
There you go. Tell them happy birthday. To everybody else,
peace out, Internet.